Are you ready to tell everyone all about yourself today?
Yes.
Okay, tell us your full name.
Brayden Bane.
Okay, Bray. So a lot of people have been asking a lot of different stuff about you, and they want to know information and how you got started in dance and where you've been dancing for years and all the things. So we're gonna kind of talk about some stuff today, and you could let all your fans and your friends and everyone else know a little bit of history about yourself. Okay,
Hmm?
you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us how long you've been dancing.
I've been dancing for 2 years now.
2 years. Okay, and how did you get started?
By watching TikToks in 2020 and just learning trending dances.
During COVID, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you end up at DC Dance Factory?
So this all happened because my Mimi, Poppy, and my aunt, Nana, they moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and I was just visiting for the summer, and my Mimi thought it was a summer camp for like dance and just like a little dance camp. But it was actually tryouts for a competitive dance company. So then I tried out, which we didn't even know what I was doing.
So what
And
happened, right, is we took you there. We missed the first day of
yeah,
dance they call it an intensive,
yeah.
which we were clueless because you had only done a little bit of dancing for rec type dancing where it wasn't like competitive or competitions in South Florida for a little bit, a little less than a year. And we thought, oh, okay, this will be fun for him because he loves to dance. And then we went there. You missed the first day, and then by the fourth day, we found out, oh, there's tryouts. And we're like, oh no, what are we going to do now? Because Bray lives in South Florida. We live here now. So then tell what we had to do once you made the team.
We had to ask my mom if it was okay for me to be in a competitive dance company. And
Because you would have to live here in
yeah,
Tennessee. And what
mhm.
happened? What'd she say?
And she said yes. So now I'm in Tennessee at DC Dance Factory.
Mm-hmm. And when did you start competing then? Tell them when you
Um,
started competing for DC. So that would have been, you started last year, right?
hmm
And what was that experience like? Tell us a little bit about last year.
So last year it was like fun. I didn't know anybody, so it was like a little bit awkward, but it was fun. I got to make all new friends and I got to learn stuff. And now it's this year, and now I know about like DC, and now I know like what my friends and stuff.
Tell everybody what you accomplished last year, being that was your first year. So it was your first year, and you were a mini. You were on the mini dance team, and actually you had to compete it as a mini, but you were training as a junior with some of the older kids. But you did a solo.
hmm
Tell us about that and who did your solo.
My solo was choreographed by Dyson and Caden. It was a hip hop solo, and the first time I competed it was at Monsters. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Monsters.
And what is Monsters?
So Monsters is a hip hop competition. They do like all competitions, like hip hop and stuff, and like Dexter and like Fifi and stuff
Hmm.
are there.
They're all there.
Yeah.
Some of the big names in dance, right?
Yeah.
So let everybody know too, like what kind of dancing you did. You were in group dances. You did your solo. Tour, and you placed usually on almost all of those. I think most of the time you were between first and third place,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And then at the end of the year, when we did nationals, you competed your solo, you had to do a bunch of tryouts and all these different things, and you were on crew. So tell everybody what happened at nationals because this is super cool.
So at nationals, as what she said, lots of tryouts,
And where
like
was it? Where was nationals?
Las Vegas. It was very fun, very early in the morning for tryouts, and I just had to keep trying out with
Oh,
like,
Brayden, and you had pneumonia.
oh, and I had
So
pneumonia, so it
worked
was,
through all that.
yeah. And at nationals with pneumonia, I got National Honor Dancer, which means National Honor Dancer means you get to assist at Adrenaline Revive and Nationals, which Nationals is like the
The big one.
biggest competition, and that's like probably the very best reward you could get from
Right. And you get to be an assistant all this year
all
because you
this
won
year.
Honor Dancer last year.
Mhm.
So tell them what does the assistant do?
So the assistants you get, so like let's say if one of my friends were assisting and they would be where the teacher is, right beside them, like helping the teacher and showing all the kids what the actual move is.
Hmm.
Like let's say there was like a leg holds. The assistant that's on the stage next to the teacher, the assistant would show all the kids how to do it.
Right. So fun. Are you excited? You haven't got to do
Yes.
that yet this year because this year so far you made the team again this past summer, and where you're at now, you just had the first competition at Radix. So tell us a little bit about that. What happened there?
So Radix, I got protege finalist / protege winner. Protege, you have to try out like in nationals. You have
Mhm.
to try out like on the last day,
Mhm.
and you'll find out in awards which protege when you get protege winner or protege finalist, you get to go to Radix's nationals, which that's also like nationals.
Mhm.
And when you go to their nationals, you have to compete, you're solo, and you could get you could
The
assist.
overall
Yeah, the
protege
overall
winner.
protege winner, which means you get to assist.
Now we should also say though that you did win. You were a protege winner last year too,
Mhm.
but we were competing as a company at Adrenaline. What's it called? Adrenaline.
And national
Yeah, it's Adrenaline, and who's the other one? Revive.
adrenaline revive.
Adrenaline and Revive. We couldn't take you to that nationals because it was conflicting with our Adrenaline
Yeah.
nationals. So you had to miss out on competing for protege last year. But hopefully we'll get to do it this year. Tell us a little bit about the competition and your new solo and who did your solo and all the fun things.
So my solo was choreographed by Jason Williams, which I call him my dance dad.
Jason's awesome.
He
Yes.
is very awesome. So I don't know how he did my solo. It's
He's just pretty awesome. He knows what
yeah,
he's doing. Yeah. So, and last year we know you had a hip hop solo. Now this year you have what kind of solo?
a jazz solo
Jazz solo. And you just competed that for the
at
first
Radix.
time, yeah, at Radix, and you got third place. But there were oh my gosh, there were so many great
So
competitors.
many.
Yeah, they were so awesome. So getting even third place is like a blessing, right? Like because you did awesome though. You did awesome, and I know Jason was really proud of you too. So what do you think as far as this year with like hip hop too? I from my understanding, we're going to be able to do a hip hop solo for you too, to where you will be able to do that at Monsters and at Chaos, which Chaos you won last year too, and we really should have went to the what Aftermath.
Yeah, aftermath.
Yeah, in California, but it was just so much going on.
So much.
Yeah.
And we had another dance competition right before
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So
But who's doing your solo this year for your hip hop?
Dyson and Caden.
Dyson and Caden Campbell, right? And they are the sons of
Miss Stephanie, which is the dance owner of DC Dance Factory.
Mr. Darrell, and they're the founders of DC Dance Factory. So tell them what DC means.
So DC means Daryl Campbell, which Campbell is Dyson, Caden, Mr. Daryl, and Miss Stephanie, and Kenley.
Kenley.
Which those are, so Kenley is their daughter, and Dyson and Caden are their sons.
And they're all phenomenal. Like you're so lucky to be training with some of the best people out there when
like
it comes
Nick
to yes. So
and
yeah, who
stuff.
else? Who are you so lucky to train with every week for hip hop?
Like Nick, Dyson
Nick
Caden,
who?
Nick Bass,
A lot of people
which
know who Nick Bass is,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Do you realize and do you remember the type of like who Mr. Nick choreographed for and who he danced with in his career?
So Nick Bass, he actually choreographed and was friends with Michael Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
and that's who I get to train with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very, very fun to train with him.
He's pretty amazing. And he has his girlfriend too, Miss
Miss
Marissa, who's
Marissa.
there, and
Mm-hmm.
she's phenomenal too. Who are some of the other teachers that you love?
Probably like Miss Erin, Miss Stephanie, Miss Audrey,
Mm-hmm.
and all of those.
Yeah. And Miss Stephanie. So, oh, you have something really special this year too. You have your duo.
Mm-hmm.
Tell
My
us about
duo.
that.
So me and Emmy, which is my forever sister,
Because you guys are
um,
super close.
yes,
Yeah.
and we got a duo,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so much fun. It's turning out so good, and we have like lifts, and it's so the theme is jazz for it.
Mm-hmm. And who are the choreographers?
Miss Erin and Miss Stephanie.
Right. They're so proud of you guys. You guys are doing amazing. You should be done pretty soon, right?
Yeah, we're
Couple more
almost done.
practices.
Mm-hmm.
You actually have practice today. So tell us anything else. Like we're just gonna do this as a part one, getting to know Brayden a little bit, and tell us what you're looking forward to right now.
What I'm looking forward to is like doing good on stage, cheery for my friends, making sure my family's like healthy and all of that.
Oh, we love you. I
Mm.
think we're your biggest supporters, but you have a lot of fans already too. And what do we want to tell people like when they think it's going to be too hard or they're super nervous and they're scared to do dance? Like what are some of the things that you can tell them to help them out?
Well, one thing is that you never want to give up. You always want to keep trying, and if you tell yourself you're going to give up, you do not want to tell yourself that because then that's going to make you feel like you can't do anything, but you don't know that you actually can do it.
Until you just keep going, right?
Mhm.
And as we all know, you've had lots of ups and downs with that. There's been times that you didn't
Mhm.
feel good, or there's times that your besties don't feel good, and everybody like really comes together and supports one another and encourages you guys just to keep going. But like it can be tough to work because it's like a job. Like
Mhm.
people are depending on you, so you also know that you just it doesn't matter what's going on. You keep going and you encourage your friends and you guys all do that and you can just feel the love.
Mhm.
So how important do you think that is to be with a good group of kids that you're dancing with and good teachers?
It's like really important.
Yeah. Why?
Because like it's good to have people that like even people that don't like think you're like good and
Mhm.
like they make hate comments, you just have to ignore that
What
and
do you think of that? What do you think? Because that does happen. And especially when you're on social media, there are haters. There's people
Mhm.
that say mean and nasty things, right? So, but how does that make you feel? And there's a lot of people that it really affects them to where they don't even want to do it anymore because people are just mean and nasty. But what advice could you give them? Like, what do you do? Because that's something you're very good about is you don't let that affect you. So how do you do that?
Well, when I have all those hate comments, I just try not to think about it and I just tell myself that's just negative and like negative behavior
Mhm.
and that's just showing how they act and that's their personality
And that's
and
their problem, not your problem, right?
mhm,
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that you're learning that early because the fact is too that we've noticed, right? You could get a nasty comment, like if you happen to know about it or see it somehow because we actually control your social media, or you hear about it from one of your friends. We just know that for every hate or kind of not so nice comment, there's hundreds and hundreds of positive ones and you know from anywhere from young kids to older people, elderly people that are just cheering you on. And how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel happy. I really love it.
Yeah. So why do you love making them so happy? Like what does that do for you?
Well, the thing is, I just do what I love, and if I didn't love dance, I would probably like still try it.
Right.
And I just do what I love, and I will never stop it.
That's awesome. So what advice can you give people? We'll make this the last thing for this part 1. What advice can you give to people like when they're going on stage, especially for the brand new dancers? Because you're in your second year now, but what about the people that get so nervous they don't even want to go out on stage and then they see everybody out there and they can freeze up or they're just sick inside because they're so nervous? What kind of advice can you give them?
So what I usually tell like my friends and like Emmy and myself,
Because you're a good hype guy. Yeah.
I just tell everyone and like myself, pretend this is your Broadway show and that there's everyone here to watch you and cheer you on. And there's so many positive things that everyone's saying about you.
Mhm.
And it's just your Broadway show and you're going to do amazing.
What happens if you mess up though?
Honestly, if you mess up, just keep going and
Right.
just freestyle.
Right? Do whatever you have to
Mhm.
do. Wing it, right? If you have to. All right, Brayden. Well, I'm sure everybody appreciates the fact that, you let them know a little bit about you, and we'll have a part 2 soon and we'll go into more detail on different things.
Okay.
Say bye to everyone.
Bye.